I want to just go back
Oh
and
wait, sorry. Hold
reflect
on.
about how we talked about trading assets at all-time highs. And once Bitcoin, broke that all-time high into price discovery, it did get a nice little bump up to 60, 61K. So that's always good to see before correcting. But when Bitcoin gets to all-time highs, you really start to see some funky stuff in the altcoin market. For instance, StormX going up 100% yesterday, or no, during Saturday's session. And then we also had Mana going up around 70%. So anytime we get Bitcoin going to all-time highs like that, it's almost very likely you're going to see some very exciting things like that in the altcoin markets. But on to the actual correction and what caused us to go down. Well, we may have had a little bit of spook in the market due to India proposing to ban cryptocurrency and potentially penalize miners and traders. India has done this before, so it's not a complete concern from my point of view. There wasn't the greatest of impact when they did it last time. And we know that regardless of whether it's legal or not, citizens of that country are going to access VPNs and attain Bitcoin or crypto by any means necessary. The one thing that I do think is worth pointing out is that despite the government threats of a ban, transaction volumes are swelling, and 8 million investors in India now hold 100 billion rupees, approximately $1.4 billion, in cryptocurrency investments. However, no official data is available on that. That is just an estimate. So still a lot of cryptocurrency users coming out of India, but I don't think there's going to be a long-term effect just because we've seen these types of actions before coming out of institutions, or rather countries like India and China. So a little bit of a short-term scare with the uncertainty, but moving on to the technicals. If you look at both the one-day time frame on the left side of the chart and then the 4-hour time frame on the right side of the chart, you'll see that price topped on TD sequential nines in both of those time frames pretty much simultaneously. So when an asset is in price discovery and when you are trying to sell into strength, we always like to use the TD sequential indicator to be able to locate those potential take profit points and look for confluence between multiple time frames on the sequential indicator.
Yeah, interesting stuff, CJ. And I think this actually is some pretty big news, right? I thought it was kind of interesting that they gave the citizens of India 60 days to get rid of their crypto before it becomes kind of illegal and they're going to start prosecuting. So interesting stuff. And I agree with you that although it is illegal, they're going to kind of circumvent this. I thought of it in the context of what would happen if the United States government did something similar. What would I do as a Bitcoin holder? And I mean, I feel like the United States government knows it would be impossible to confiscate all the crypto held by its citizens, because although they could limit our access to like exchanges like Voyager, I could very easily take my money off Voyager, put it in a cold wallet, and put that cold wallet in a safe in my closet and pretend like I don't have it. So I think there's plenty of ways to circumvent it. And I think this ultimately just increases the demand for Bitcoin. So yeah, interesting stuff, but it was enough to kind of quell the momentum that we were seeing this weekend. I think this week is particularly interesting, and I want to talk about some assets that I think are going to perform well. And I think a lot of the reason why we saw such a big pop in a lot of these altcoins, the low cap alts, was because people were front running this stimulus money that they're anticipating is going to really affect the crypto market. So we saw some assets like Mana reach new highs. Mana climbed above $1, something that seemed almost impossible just a week ago. But here we are above $1 still, and it's looking strong. I think, like I said, I think this was the result of people getting onto Voyager, getting off the waiting list. But then we all know that the stimulus money is coming very soon, and it's going to affect not only the traditional markets, but also crypto. And I think the retail trader is one person that will A, have access to the stimulus money, and B, be more inclined to participate in some of these lower cap, more volatile crypto assets. So I've been looking at Mana. I've been looking at others like like Stormex or like Engine. And I think that although we're seeing a bit of a pullback today as Bitcoin corrects just a bit, like CJ pointed out, I think as the stimulus money comes in this week, we're going to see a huge pop in a lot of these smaller retail assets. So yeah, I think this is a good time to transition to our Doge of the day, and I'm going to pick a Doge of the day that's actually performed very well, and one that I actually bought because CJ told me to buy. And I know CJ gave this advice to a lot of his friends as well. Risky move listening to CJ. I know that's what he would say, but it tends to work out for me when CJ gives a little insights. I tend to listen. But Stormex, that's my Doge of the day today. I mean, looking at the chart, you can see that this weekend it experienced some tremendous price action. Climbed from this is not the daily chart. This is the hourly chart. So you can see in a single hourly candle, it went from 0.017 to 0.028. So it went up an entire cent in less than an hour. Incredible volatility for such a low cap asset. And I think this speculation is going to continue as people continue to get their stimulus money. Like this report from Yahoo Finance says, some people are estimating that up to 10% of the 380 billion in stimulus will be used towards stocks and crypto. So I think if you it's a rare opportunity to kind of know that there's going to be an influx of retail capital entering the space. And I feel like that's what's happening right now is we're teetering on the brink of a retail boom. And I think as a result, there are many ways to profitably trade this market. And I think the most upside potential right now actually isn't in Bitcoin, but it's in some of these low cap alts that are going to really appeal to retail traders. So that's what I got. I will pass it back to you, CJ.
Yeah, when it comes to a lot of these small cap projects in the space, if you are interested in them as a prospective investor, I always encourage you just go use the product, find out what they do. And Stormex is a great example of that you mentioned, Monty. I was talking with a friend yesterday, actually, who had made his first purchase on Stormex. He bought some bed sheets, and he's getting 2% or 2.5% back in Stormex. The app is beautiful. They've partnered with over 700 stores. Nike is one of their big recent partners, so I'm sure there's plenty of sneakers on there that would fulfill your desires. But yeah, I would definitely check out the Stormex app because they're putting the ICO money to work. That's for sure. My Doge of the day. Let's see.
You've been making some good picks, CJ. I saw people in chat last night talking about your H bar pick. That was one that really popped this week.
HBAR has been I could see that going to $1 or a couple dollars by the end of the market cycle. I mean, that thing has really just gone and garnered a lot of interest. Yeah, in terms of sentiment, I'm not seeing a whole lot of things that are that particularly attractive based on the sentiment in the short term. But when it comes to price and assets that have kind of been waiting to break out and things that I've been watching, I'm really liking what I'm seeing this morning from Algo. It's actually finding some life after a long kind of neutral to bullish consolidation and hitting some breakout levels. So maybe just add that one to your watch list this week because it's showing some nice life here to start the week, bouncing off that moving average. So Algo Rand, ALGO will be my Doge of the day.
Okay. I like it. I like it. Be watching that this week. Obviously, we didn't have Dr. J with us today. He is traveling, but he will be back with us later in the week. But I
His
think
exact words, sorry, Internet Hero Tel was down. Okay. We'll give you a pass this time.
okay, yeah. I'm sure if we could see what he was doing right now, he'd be shredding through some powder in Jackson Hole, just destroying the slopes right now. But hey, we'll leave it. We'll leave him to it. But anyways, I think that pretty much covers it for today. Those are our doges of the day. Really exciting week for crypto with the stimulus money. So be watching that. We'll be in the chat all week, all day, 24/7. We are pretty much there. And you can check that out for just $1 for the first month at marketrebellion.com/try crypto. We have trade insights, a pro charting platform, a community of very intelligent and passionate traders that's growing every day. And yeah, CJ and I are there hanging out, dropping in insights and chatting with members. So feel free to come join us. And as always, thank you very much to Voyager for sponsoring this podcast. Any parting words, CJ?
We have an NFT course
Yes.
that you created. Very good. Very, very awesome course. It will be added to the Market Rebellion Education Center very soon. So stay tuned for that.
Yeah,
With
there'll
that,
be an announcement going out later today. Should be getting an email about that NFT course. So look out for that. But as always, thank you guys so much for joining this episode of the Daily Crypto Byte, and we will see you tomorrow.